I was actually thinking of Bernard Matthews, because he's so beautiful, doesn't he? Poor guy. He sold so much turkey that he had a guilt trip and killed himself. I feel the karma caught up with him. One day he was just sitting there and thought, boy, I've killed a lot of turkeys in my life. I'm starting to feel the pain. He thought, man, I'm going to kill myself. And you know what? He came back as a turkey. And now he's on the Bernard Matthews fucking conveyor belt getting turned into turkey burgers. You get me? Karma's a motherfucker, man. It catches you in most least expected ways. That's a bit of an oxymoron, the most least expected ways. But, Jesus. What about some spoken word? I was thinking, I'm going to do a poem which is really, I'm like Peter Pan out here. The numbers change, but I stay the same age. As a child, I didn't really have a childhood. We moved too fast. Things were happening around us. Poverty, drugs, all them things kind of snatched away a lot of the innocence that childhood gives most children. It was gone. We didn't have it. We was up to mischief. We were young, wild and reckless and didn't have a childhood. As I got older, I regressed and said, man, now I'm an adult, I need a childhood. So I got myself in stability and I found something I'm half good at, which is music, and I said, cool, now I can just be a child and just enjoy myself. So I regressed a little bit. Now, I write poetry for all reasons. And sometimes I just want to try and reach out. These poems would come under a title of Poems for Grown-Up Children or Immature Adults. And I think most of us can relate to that, you know what I mean? Now this ain't going to be something deep and prophetic, that will come. This is just going to be something that children can relate to. And it's a story, and bear with me, because I know a lot of you know my music and some of you might not watch my spoken word. But this is something I do, and it's a part of me, and it's fun. So just try and hear me out. This is called The Tale of the Valiant Flea, and that kind of speaks for itself. Now this is a tale, a wonderful tale, and a tale as old as can be, because it's a tale that was told to many a soul as a tale of the valiant Flea. Now his size was unknown, and his legs were like springs, so he spent half his time in the air, propelled high above where the rest of us drudge through our lives and our daily affairs. Now one day as he hopped from valley to dale, his world was destined to change, for he landed beside a hideous spider, just within web-spinning range. Yet the valiant Flea, he stood up for the fight, although he was sure he would die. As the spider decided to move for the kill, the Flea stood up and he cried, I tell you no tales, nor tell you no lies. Your web seems a worthy design, yet perhaps if you tried some samples of mine, we may just surprisingly find a few extra flies for your dinner each night. For there's so many ways I can swear you an oath. For there's so many ways to boil up a brew, and it's true for the sake of us both. There's a squillion ways to prepare you some peas, and a trillion more never tried. So please, Mr. Spider, bear it in mind, there's more than one way to catch flies. See, there's traps that's from Venus, and that's just the start. There's chaps out in China who catch them with darts. There's monsters in wardrobes who kill them with farts. And there's gobbledygooks whose claws are so sharp that they tear them to shreds in less than 2 tries. But rest you assured on all that I've spied, I promise there's more than one way to catch flies. Then he stopped for some air. He spluttered and gasped, sensing the next thing he says is the last. So he said, well, Mr. Spider, I hope that you see there's not many fleas as well travelled as me. For I've sunk my old fangs into mountains of ghee, and tasted fine wines and plutonian tea, and I've wrestled with monsters and vampire bees, and sailed with great creatures built for the seas. I've lived in vast deserts and cities of trees, and I've hopped round the moonless planet of cheese, where I tasted the clouds and flew on the breeze, and fed on hyenas and royalty's knees. And I'll teach you my learnings, I'll happily try, and it strikes me as wise that you take my advice, because there's so many ways for you to catch flies, you see. Or the spider, he pondered, then replied to the plea. Clearly, said he, it's quite simple to see. You're quite an amazing, magnificent flea. Be that as it may, it's time for my tea. So pardon me, sir, for it dampens my heart and it darkens my sensitive soul. But fix not what not broke, he gently spoke. then swallowed the poor fella whole. So now the flea, he rests inside the empty belly of the spider. Then the spider, he decides to venture from his house to visit cousin Cyril Strider for some dominoes and cider. As he crossed a field of rye, he bumped into a mouse. Oh, well, do well. Oh, pray do tell, what brings me such a treat as a juicy spider like yourself to stumble past my feet? Oh, well, do well, oh, pray do tell, the mouse, he coarsely squeaked. Pray tell your tale, oh spider sir, before your life has peaked. Well, the spider was scared, and rightly so, but his thoughts returned to the flea. He had ate for his tea just moments ago, and the things it had said to get free, and he began. Well, pardon my praise, oh masterful mouse, keeper of all the old fields. That's the spider's voice, I'm not doing it. Well, pardon my praise, oh masterful mouse, keeper of all the old fields. Before you eat me, oh please, let's try for some sort of a deal. For there's very few spiders as travelled as I. See, I've spun golden webs on the island of Skye, and lived on the shadowless planet of Pi, and weaved webs in the bedrooms of royals and spies. And I've learnt of great places for mouses to eat, places with cheeses and yogurts and meats. And I swear I can tell you, just spare me my life to go home to my children and poor darling wife. He finished his speech, then looked at the floor, knowing he won't get a chance to say more. Alas, he was right, the mouse simply smiled and swallowed the spider with merciless style. Well, that was some spider, the finest you'll meet, but like it or not, a mouse needs to eat. The mouse, he just burped and tilted his hat, then stumbled off home, avoiding the traps. But just as he passes the rotten haystacks, he found himself standing in front of a cat. Meow. Who was that? Well done, man. You sack-it motherfucker. Meow, said the cat. What have we here? It seems that a tasty morsel's appeared. So tell me, dear mouse, what brings you my way, as night is advancing to finish the day? Tell me, dear mouse, before you say bye, what brings you my way, and tell me no lies. The mouse held his tongue and thought out a plan. Well, Mr. Tom, I'll tell what I can. See, I just ate a spider and ate him too quick, and I think he was poisonous, and now I'm quite sick. He hoped being ill would deter the old Tom. I'm sorry to say it, but I think I might vom. Now the cat looked on in total disgust, and wasn't that sure there was much to discuss. So away the cat strolled with his nose in the air, and the mouse thanked the gods, then returned to his lair. While there in the pile, that pile of warm sick, amongst all the bile and chunks of chewed stick, there wriggled 2 legs, then 3, then 4, then a 5th and a 6th, then finally 2 more. The spider! The spider! He wriggled and tried to get to his feet, but slipped to his side. Then he writhed as he tried for the trillionth time to escape the hot mess and the vomitous tide. And as he got to his feet, not smelling too sweet, he looked at where he awoke. It's an ocean of sick! He angrily yelped, and then stammered, beginning to choke. The spider rebuked, then violently puked his putrid pile of heavings. Then he staggered away in a wobbly sway to return to his intricate weavings. Behind him he left all his troublesome thoughts along with the vomitous sea. But there in that sea, though barely alive, there wriggled the valiant Flea. He wriggled some more and slipped on the floor, and try after try after try, he got to his feet and bent his 2 knees, then leapt to the sky as he cried, try as you will and try as you please, there's not many ways to capture some fleas. So pardon me, ladies and gents of all age, I must say farewell and bid you good day. He crouched and he leapt high in the sky, and left to return to his beautiful wife, the tiniest hero, as small as can be. He's travelled the worlds and all 7 seas, so pick up your glass and toast it with me for the one and the only, the valiant Flea.